Welcome to Takeover. Okay, all right, I understand. We got red backdrops. We looking a little broke right now. It's because we couldn't have our own studio like we do most of the times. And as you can see, Josh isn't here. I think I scared him away with all the beat downs I give him every single day.
I'm pretty sure he went to a debate, but it's okay because it doesn't stop me from wreaking havoc on you like I do every week. So just
that's what they supposedly say. But as you know, my name is Cam.
My name is Deandra, and this is Takeover.
Of course, the Super Bowl is approaching. It is this week. Who do you have and why?
I am leaning over to the Chiefs slightly. Very slightly, because they're number 2 in total yards, number 1 in points, and number 1 in passing yards. And the speed on these wide receivers with Tyreek Hill, McCall, Hardman, and Watkins, they're like football players, but they have the speed of track stars. And when you mix that with a tight end like Travis Kelce, you can do so many different schemes of play with that. You have to look at the defense as well. I personally hated the defense at the beginning of the season. I felt like they didn't put any effort into their play, but now they have just improved immensely, and they've added Terrell Suggs. He has 24 solo tackles. Frank Clark, who has 27 and 8 sacks. Chris Jones with 23 and 9 sacks. Matthew is 63 and 4 interceptions. And also, I think this goes without saying, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, over the course of the 2 playoff games, he has 615 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. And Jimmy G has only thrown for 208, which is 104 each game. And I think when you think about the Super Bowl, you're going to have to have that quarterback that's going to make your team exceptionally better, and I don't think Jimmy G could do that to the degree of Patrick Mahomes. And when you look at the 2 of the 3 games that they lost, the Ravens and the Seahawks were against mobile quarterbacks, just like Patrick Mahomes. So that's why I have the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to formally disagree with you. I understand you just named a whole bunch of stats. You just went on a plethora of rants about all the stats and everything, but it comes back down to really one thing. Of course, these Super Bowls, these national championships you formally just celebrated with, the thing that decides these games is defense. Defense wins championships. Matter of fact, every time the top 2 defense goes against somebody in the Super Bowl, they're 15-5, meaning the better defensive team wins 75% of the time. And this game kind of reminds me of Super Bowl 50 between the Panthers and the Broncos, where you had the superstar Cam Newton, he had all the weapons, he had Greg Olsen, they looked great back there, and then you had old washed up Peyton Manning that was basically being carried by the defense. That's basically what Jimmy G is going to go through right now. And so that team still lost because of the defense, and the 49ers have the defense to stop this type of offensive attack you've seen with Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, DeForest Buckner, Richard Sherman. These guys are coming to take Patrick Mahomes out of his spot, out of his thing. And if they can I'm not saying they're going to stop Patrick Mahomes. I don't think anybody can. But if they can at least slow him down, then they have the best shot of winning this game. And also, everyone's talking about the Chiefs offense, but no one wants to talk about what Kyle Shanahan's done with this 49ers offense. George Kittle, to me, is the best tight end in the game. I don't feel like anybody on the Chiefs defense can guard him for sure. And nobody in the regular season has been doing it as well. And then you look at Deebo Samuel, Mostert. I feel like those guys are going to have a great game as well. And when you look at that, I just feel like they're the better overall team. And the better defense usually wins these type of games.
Well, also, just like you said, the defense wins the games.
Right.
From the last, I would say, I don't know, ever since a long time, it's been a long time since 2 quarterbacks have, when they play each other, and the inferior quarterback has won. You look at John Elway versus Chris Chandler, Peyton Manning versus Rex Grossman, Tom Brady versus Jay Dillon. Like, the inferior quarterback has always won. Inception of Nick Foles. Yeah. But he was coming off of a really good season. So,
I mean, yeah. So you're saying basically the better quarterback always wins the game?
Well, I wouldn't say always, but in this situation, if the Chiefs defense shows up, because I mean, let's not act like Andy Reid is a scrub. He's not a scrub. So they're already planning to go against this defense because they know that the 49ers are coming in this game running the ball. Kyle Shanahan would not dare have a quarterback versus quarterback Super Bowl because that's an instant win for the Chiefs.
I think Kyle Shanahan has already seen this story before. He was up 25 points the last Super Bowl he coached. But you think he's gonna try to lose another one?
But was it against Patrick Mahomes?
It was against Tom Brady. Okay. Is it not even as close?
Patrick Mahomes is totally different from Tom Brady.
I'm just saying the level of greatness is still there between Mahomes and Brady.
I understand, but also I just feel like when you look at Jimmy G, like I said, this Super Bowl, this defenses are going to show up. At least I hope they will show up and give us a good game to watch. I know what you mean. Yeah, so I just feel like people would say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
But there's always room to improve. So if you go doing the same thing throughout the whole season, when you get to the big game, if the Chiefs put a stop to it, what are you going to do? Not saying that Jimmy G isn't capable, because I'm pretty sure he is. Kyle Shanahan hasn't been in that situation for a reason.
Yeah.
But you have to be prepared for all scenarios. So that's why I feel it could be a toss-up. It's
gonna be a good game.
It's a good game.
I think the Niners are winning, guys, for sure.
Sticking to the big game, who do you think will be the X factors in this game?
Everyone wants to point out to the fact that the 49ers have a great defense, just like I did, and look at all those defensive stars and maybe think that one of those stars is going to take the game. This game isn't going to be won by the highest factors in the game. And the highest factors, I mean, Kansas City offense is the best thing about the Chiefs. And the 49ers defense is the best thing about them. Mm-hmm. The real matchup where everyone's going to see who's going to win the game is when the 49ers offense gets on the field and when the Chiefs defense gets on the field. And who's going to control that? I feel like it's my guy Jimmy G. Everyone's counting him out saying he can't throw. I feel like Kansas City is going to stack the box like they did versus Derrick Henry to take Mostert out, take all the running plays out. And Jimmy G is going to be put on the spot. And when he's been put on the spot, like I explained last episode, he's thrown for 300 versus those Saints. He's thrown for 250 versus the Green Bay Packers. And I think the 49ers offensive line is the best one to handle this. Think about the teams they beat to get here. They beat the Vikings, who had Everson Griffith. That defensive line was nasty. And then they took out the Smith brothers like it was nothing. They bullied the Packers once again. So I think they're gonna be able to handle people like Chandler Jones and the rest of that Chiefs defense. So I feel like once they stack the box versus Jimmy G, he's gonna have weapons on weapons. I don't feel like there's a defender out there that can guard Kittle. I think Deebo Samuel's gonna have an impact, especially Emmanuel Sanders as well. So when you factor that in, I feel like if Jimmy G shows up, this game could, I'm not gonna say it's gonna get out of hand, but I think the 49ers would be in clear control of this if Jimmy G controls what he has.
Okay, so I don't have specific players being the X factor because I believe it's a team effort. Okay. But I do believe that the defense on both sides are going to be the the reason why each team will win. Okay. So for the Chiefs defense, they're going to have to play the most perfect defensive team they have played all year.
Yeah.
They're not going to just hold the 49ers to 10 points. So the offense needs to get going as well because the defense, I'm pretty sure they're going to show up. The 49ers are going to score. So, and then they're going to have to force Jimmy G to throw more, like 20 to 30 minutes and make him make quick decisions and catch him off his guard. And for the 49ers, the front four are very dangerous.
They don't even have to blitz.
They don't have to blitz. Dangerous. In the running game with them, it's inevitably it's going to be Patrick Mahomes versus the running game. Offensively, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes versus the running game of the 49ers. In order for the Chiefs to win, Patrick Mahomes has to play exceptional and their defense has to show up. And for the 49ers to win, they have to apply pressure to Patrick Mahomes.
But I'm saying for the Chiefs to win, though, like, you got to think about earlier in the playoff run when they went against the Texans. They gave up 24 points out of the gate. Then it was trailing 10 points to the Titans.
They can't do that.
If this happens early in this game and Jimmy G's hot and that 49ers defense is getting to Patrick Mahomes, they're not coming back from this one because this is a defense like they've never seen before.
We've seen
them come back before.
Yeah, we've seen them come back, but we also have seen the Chiefs defense show up. They adjusted to Derrick Henry, who was unstoppable, and they only held him to 69 yards. Yeah. So if they could find a way to adjust to the running game, I think it would be to their advantage.
I think another key matchup is Sherman versus Tyreek Hill.
Yes.
A lot of people want to see that too.
A matchup I'm very excited to see.
That's going to be interesting. All right, we're going to end this episode with a little Cop It or Block It, which is where we'll have a subject or some type of statement or take, we'll say, and then we can either cop it or block it. So I'm going to go first and ask you a question real quick.
Okay.
Cop it or block it. If the Chiefs win, it'll be by 14 points or more. Why are we blocking it?
I'm going to block it because, like, the whole thing we just went through, like, the 49ers, they're not a joke. It's the best defense versus the best offense. And like you said, defense wins games. I don't think...
So you think it's a close game if
it's
the
a
Chiefs
close
win?
game. I'm thinking the score is going to be like 33-31. Do you think Ben Simmons should sit out or Joel Embiid? Or should they both just part ways?
Like, as in sit out, do you mean like one shouldn't be on the other's team? Or like, what do you mean by sit out?
Like, if Ben Simmons is on the court, then Joel Embiid needs to be on the bench.
Oh, like what Houston kind of does with James Harden and Russ?
Yeah. Because we've seen how Ben Simmons plays.
From a defensive standpoint, I don't feel like the 76ers have another big to to help when Joel Embiid's off the court. But offensively, I guess you could say taking him out. But Ben Simmons is going to basically do the same thing Joel Embiid's going to do. So I probably think the split for if they were on separate teams, it would work better. I know they're two great players, and I'm glad they're on the same team. But if these two split up and they had teams revolved around them, I think both of their games would excel at a high level. In the Niners type win, do you have George Kittle as your MVP? Could he be the MVP? Cop it or block? Why are we copying?
I feel like I'm just ranking on Jimmy G, but I don't think he would be the MVP because if you're handing the ball off all the time, I mean, you're not really doing anything for the team. But we've seen how he plays, and he's a key factor to this team. Like, if you take him away,
yeah,
I'm not saying they get
worse. This is the best side in the football. I think you can say it.
They get worse, but I mean, they're still the 49ers. But he's a big takeaway from that team if you take him. Speaking of Jimmy G, if they win the Super Bowl, do you think Bill Belichick should regret what happened?
No, because Ben Belichick has... Okay, first of all, I'm going to block it. But Bill Belichick has been to the Super Bowl, 2 out of the 3 times ever since they traded him? And then he won 1, lost 1. Well, he actually won 2, lost 1. Mm-hmm. So when you factor that in, I mean, Brady's still winning. I mean, he hasn't had to part ways with him. I'm pretty sure he wanted to keep Jimmy G. But I think Brady kind of ran him out of town. But I don't regret it. If I win a Super Bowl out of it, Super Bowl, Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, that is all we have for you guys today. I know we look broke still. Don't remind me of it. But that's all for today. You got anything to say?
No, I'm good. I hope you guys enjoy the game.
Yep. 49ers up.